Hello and welcome to this video where we'll go into generating data using DuckDB and SQL. So let's, in Visual Studio Code, let's create a new terminal and create DuckDB synthetic data.duckdb like this, and I will just create something like this and quit here. So now we have synthetic data.duckdb, and let's connect with this one in dbeaver. So go into dbeaver, I shut down all of these, and I create a new project here, open projects from file system, directory, generating data. So inside generating data, let's establish a connection, DuckDB connection, and synthetic data.duckdb. So in this lecture, we will do some data. We'll create fake data basically and work with that. And that is quite good to do in order for us to try it out, or in order for us to enrich our current data set. Double click on this one and we have activated it. So now in here we do right click, create another folder. I call it SQL. Inside of the SQL folder, we create a new script. And what to call this script? Well, we can call it constants. Like this. So select 42 as meaning of life, and this is quite funny if you know what it means, but otherwise no matter. So here we create a constant value. Just select whatever you want to create and give it an alias. If you don't give it an alias, you get like this: select 42, and you only get 42. You see the column name is also 42. So we can do like using values class to create the rows. So here we have one column with 3 rows. So here we have called 0, we have 1, 2, 3, right? So what's interesting is that we should combine the select with the values. So select, and note that you can also use the values inside of insert into, right? So you insert the different rows with several columns using the values class. But we can use select, so select star from values. So we don't need to select it, we can select it directly from values instead of selecting it from an existing table, right? So we do like this, values and 1 comma, for example, u1, 2 comma, let's see, 1 comma u1, and I do like this, and there's an error. Let me see why. From we need to have a parenthesis there. Right. Now it works. And this is weirdly formatted. So I'll do like this. Values like this. Yeah, this is better formatting. And then I want to have my next one. I want to have the next one as Johanna. I want to have my third row as Mustafa. Like this. So now we have 1, 2, 3. And we should give them aliases. So we have as. And this is the table name, basically. So, or you can actually write whatever you want here. So I'll just write people, ID, comma, name. Let's see. Right. So now we have ID and name. So here, this needs to be, so if I remove this one, we get an error. We need to have some reference to a table. So we can actually use T, or we can use whatever we want here. So now we have this, we have created this synthetic data on these people, but it hasn't been saved anywhere. So let's save it. So in order to save it, easy, create, we have done it before. If not exists, people records as this one. Let's see. No, not command enter, not control. Yes, like this. And now we have this. We've updated. We created this table. So if I do this, we can see that we have this table, people records. Right. So let's move on. We can generate some other data. We can create. We can create this. Let's see. New script, and we change name on this one. What should it be called? We can call it synthetic data. So it's inside of SQL. Perfect. So select. We can select something called generate series 1,100 as ID. So here, basically I want to generate a series of numbers from 1 to 100. And if we double click here, we see that it is a list from 1 to 100. And if I want to unnest this list, so I do unnest. And there's an error because I need to have parentheses to put into this as argument to this function, and we can see that we get it unnested. So we get the IDs, 100 IDs. So let's move on here. We can do some dice simulations. Select random. We can do random first, and we can see we get the random value. And if I run it a lot of times, we see each time we get the value between 0 and 1. So let's enhance this one. So select random. We can take it times 6, and then we see we have something with 5. And we can do +1. We get up to 6. And we can do floor of this. So this means we will get between 1 and 6. So this is a dice simulation, basically. So as dice from generate series. So if I do like this, generate series 100, then I actually get 100. So because I use generate series, then this will run 100 times. So I get 100 dices. So, and yeah, as dice, exactly, it's called dice. So we did some dice simulations. Let's do some, we can create some students' synthetic data. Select. And also remember that if you want to store this in a database, you do create the table and store this into the database. But I don't do that because just show you that for the select queries so that you can do it if you want. I want to save some time. So select unnest generate series 100, as ID. So basically what we did before. Run this one. So we get a lot of IDs, comma, student underscore. Then we'll get the student here, student underscore. But I can do something else here. I can do concatenation. So this is string concatenation. We'll come back to string operations later on. I concatenate with this ID as student. So I give it a alias as student. So I run this one. And we can see ID and we can see student. It has been concatenated, right? So we add the string together. And we have we can create random scores. That is useful if we want to do some quick testing or some calculations. So round random as score and run this one, and we can see 0 and 1 because we have round here, and we take this one times 100. So we get scores between 0 and 100. Yes, perfect. So we have created some students synthetic data, and then we can do even better. We can copy this one. We will check the score also. So if the score is over a certain threshold, we get a certain grade, etc. So let's do case end as grade. Case end as grade. It actually gave me some extra here I don't want. Remove this one like this. So when score is less than 50, then I want it to be an F. When score is less than 75, then G for approved. In Swedish, G is for godkänt. When score else, we have VG. This is passed with distinction. So I run this one, and there's an error, of course. Let's see, else then why? Because alias score reference, but expression has side effects. Okay. So in order for this to work, we actually need to do like this. We need to have a from, and we use a subquery. This is starting to get a little bit complex here. But basically I want to place this part into the subquery. And this has to do with that you select it based on so the thing is here. If I had it here, then we don't really have the score yet. So because we cannot use the score in the case when we create the score here. So we need to have it in the from statement, because from it comes higher up in the execution order. So this one we place here. We erase this one, and instead we pick out the ID. We pick out the we take the student here, unnest. Let's see, as ID, and then we use the ID, and then we use the score here, right? Let me run this one. Okay, there's an error. Okay, what can this be? Well, we need to pick out, we'll pick out the score as well, and there's still an error. Let's see. Yeah, right. So this is the subquery. So we need to do a select here in order to create this data. So select these. Yeah, now it works. Okay, so I'll explain. So we have a subquery and a from statement. So the from statement, the from class will run first, and it's a subquery inside of the from class that will run. So then what we run is that we do this select, this series as ID, and we select the scores, and then in the order of execution, the select statement here comes afterwards. Then we pick out the ID, we create the student numbers, and we pick out the scores from this score here. And then we use this score in order to do our case when, to do our grades. I hope this made sense. It's a little bit complex, but you should know that there's a lot of flexibility when creating, when you want to generate synthetic data. So there's a lot you can do. But then another question is, should you do it? Should you do it in DuckDB, that is, in SQL? Because later on we'll connect DuckDB to Python, and then it's much simpler to generate fake data in Python. But you should know that for simple testing and quick and dirty testing, it can be done in SQL and in DuckDB. So let's move on here. We'll do some temporal data. Temporal data. So we want to, when temporal data means time and date, basically. So select star from generate series. Here I will generate series. We can generate numbers between 1 and something, or between two different numbers. However, we can also use a date. So we can use date 2024 11/01 to date 2024 11/30. I run this one, and it needs to have an interval of, let's say 1 day. So let's say interval, there's an error here. We need to have a comma actually, because this function generate series requires this. Yes. And we can see there's an interval of 1 day. If we pick more days, if we pick 2 days, then we see an interval of 2 days. So this is how you specify to create the dates. It's not that difficult. So we have st November, and then we have alias this as November. So let's create a date dimension. So this one is useful when you come into, when you're working with star schemas in data warehousing, which we'll come back into in another course. So let's do like this. Select. Let's see. I will copy this part. Select from generate series, and I actually want to have 1 year here to 12/31. 12/31. So if I select star from here, what happens? Well, I get all the dates from 1st January to end of December. So let's format this. So string f time, in order to format this date series, and I want to format it with a certain formatting. So this formatting, you should look it up into the documentations, which I have linked to in the lecture notes. So this is for years. So if I just do like this, see what happens. There's an error, of course. Here it must be changed to date series. So now I picked out the year, I picked out the month, and I picked out the date. remove the timestamp. So let's continue here as date. I want to pick out the month of date series as month. And we see that the month number here, and also you can have a table to connect it to the name of the months. Let's copy this one. We want to have the week number. We want to have day of week. Let's do like this. Weekday. Weekday. Date series. Right here. And you see the day of week, the week number, and the month. So, and also like 0 is for Sunday, 1 is for Monday, etc. And in the lecture note, I used create table as well, and I also have some more things there. So go ahead and look into the lecture notes, but for me, I'm quite satisfied here. So yes, with this, I would like to thank you for watching this video on generating data, syntactic data. That is really useful for either testing quickly or enhancing your data sets. So thank you. Bye.